Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗀𝗀. In today's video, we're diving into the world of Elrond, specifically talking about the price action of 𝗕𝗚𝗚. As we get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗀𝗀. Right, with all that said, done, and out of the way, let's dive down into the charts here and take a look at the price action of 𝗕𝗚𝗚. Okay guys, so basically we set a new all-time high today, and we're going to go into the charts here and analyze whether or not we're going to continue that growth to the upside or whether or not we're actually going to start to see a bit of a reversal. So we're going to start things off with this daily chart, right? And we can see the good growth that we've been having here with Elrond. Now, we do have a Fibonacci retracement tool here, running from the high that we was actually set up on the 12th of April, down to the low area that was basically achieved on the 22nd of June, right? So this downward trend here allows us to kind of predict out a conservative price target for Elrond. And this does actually show it moving out to $869. And again, I say this is conservative because it's based on just one trend, this one downward trend, okay? And if we want to be more kind of, I guess, specific on where we think the bull run is likely to end, what we end up doing is actually taking the whole tide trend up, trend down, and this basically allows us to, well, actually it's trend down, trend up, trend down. And those three anchor points allows us to be a little bit more specific. So if we actually jump over to our weekly chart, we actually have a trend-based fib here. And what this one does actually shows you it moving out to $1,064, okay? So this is your optimized model based on the trends that we've seen within the bull run. Okay, so two kind of things to kind of pay attention to. Obviously, we have the conservative price target, which is 869, and obviously we have a more kind of optimized model that thinks where, you know, or where we think the bull run's likely to actually finish. Okay, this is going to be really hard to time this. You're probably never actually going to hit this right on the nail, but obviously it's going to get you right close to where we think the bull run's going to end based on the trends of the data that we have. But we're going to really just focus in on our daily chart because this gives us a nice conservative model to aim towards, lock in the profits on the way up. And yes, it might go higher. It probably will go higher than $869. That's fine. And then obviously in the bear market, we'll accumulate once again. So we like to sell on the way up and buy on the way down. Okay, sounds pretty basic, but that's generally how it works. No emotions, just pure strategy. And, you know, don't let greed kind of get the worst of you. It will be probably your worst enemy in a bull run. The bear market is where the money is made, and the bull run is all about managing your emotions and expectations. Okay, cool. So obviously we set a new all-time high, barely, but we've set it. Okay, so previously the all-time high was $303.03. Today's high is $312.98, and we started to see a pullback. Okay, so when we take a look at our daily stochastic, it has plenty of room to grow. So it's not our daily that's preventing us from actually growing the price of Elrond right now. Instead, you know, there's you know, some resistance and some fear in this space, and I'll get into that in a moment. But ultimately, the progress on our chart has been pretty good. Okay, and on this journey to $869 to lock in the profits, we are looking pretty good. This is about 190% move. Let me just grab hold of this just to check. Our current price is pretty much on our previous high, 189% or 186%, right? So pretty close to kind of move us up there. So some gains still left on the table. We are basically just back testing on the previous high right now. That's kind of what we're doing, and we'll check that out on the hourly in a moment. As you can see, good progress has been made with Elrond. Obviously, after the pullback that we had, people were very, very frustrated, worried about it. Obviously, the main community haven't been kind of wavering anyway. They've kind of just been accumulating more ahead of the next surge. So you had a fantastic opportunity to buy Elrond again at $53. Now, obviously, it's not as early as many people who were buying it on this journey to the way up here. We got in, I think, about $15 somewhere in this area just here. It might have even been in this particular pullback. And, you know, we got in late. We consider it quite late for Elrond because, you know, you could have had an absolute bargain down here at the late part of 2020. With that being said, though, the progress has been very, very good. We had the pullback, an additional opportunity to purchase up some cheaper Elrond as people were selling it off in fear. And again, this is when people were calling, you know, it a bear market, right? Everyone was saying we're in a bear market, we're in a bear market. We weren't in a bear market, we're in a correction phase of a bull run, right? And people were misunderstanding that, miscommunicating that, and unfortunately, loads of people succumbed to fear and sold at a discounted rate. So for many people who were unfortunately succumbing to the fear, yeah, they've sold off their holdings, and then obviously it went on a tear. For all those other people who knew what was going on, so you know, cheeky crypto subscribers, then you guys potentially would have buying up this fear ahead of what was coming, right? Because, you know, we've been communicating that this is a bull run, even though the price is pulling down, and that you should be buying that fear ahead of what happens next. People called us crazy, but that's fine. That's kind of what we're used to. Ultimately, we have some interesting targets, $455 from a cup and handle, but I don't think that's actually something that is going to play out, but we'll see. Obviously, journey to the upside is interesting. So first target that really we want to talk about is $365. That is the 1.618 based on the high and the low of our Fibonacci retracement tool here. Okay, so $365. We're currently trading at 306, so a fair bit of progress to be had. Let's jump over to advice.io. For those who do not know, advice.io use artificial intelligence and machine learning to help us understand the underlying value of a cryptocurrency. Now, there's a link in the description down below. It's completely free to use, so do sign up. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Now, here with Elrond, we can see that we've got a green arrow, so this is basically indicates that we've moved up a rating. Okay, so we're in A3, so this is the third best rating in the platform. So basically it runs from A1 down to a rating of D. U if there's not enough data for to actually create a rating. But basically we're in A3 rated right now, moved up from B1. Okay, so this is a good indication that things in the data are changing and things are progressing quite nicely. When we jump down into the detail of it, we have an AMI-HAD ratio that's an A2. The AMI-HAD ratio represents your liquidity, so buying and selling e-gold right now is perfectly fine. No issues with that whatsoever. The Fear and Greed Index, this is where it gets interesting, is a C2. It has actually gone up from a C3. Okay, so we know that actually, you know, things are increasing, they're getting better. There's less fear in the space today than there was yesterday, but it is still a lot of fear, which is why you're not seeing it push massively past the all-time high just yet. I do anticipate this changing, though. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of greed come in the market for Elrond, okay? So do watch out for that. As we come down, we have a Sharpe ratio. The Sharpe ratio is an A2 rating. The Sharpe ratio has been above the 50-day average for pretty much the entirety of from August, right? So early August, it hasn't gone below our 50-day average. This is an important thing to note, okay? Because when we take a look at our Fear and Greed Index, we can see that we've been in extreme fear down here pretty much through September, right? We take a look at the Sharpe ratio in September. It was actually saying you should buy and have exposure to e-gold right when there's extreme fear in the space, right? And right now, again, we're above that 50-day average still, as there is extreme fear. This is basically saying that the rewards outweigh the risks and that we might want to have exposure to e-gold, right? Even though people are willing to sell e-gold right now, the artificial intelligence is saying, actually, long term, this is actually a pretty good hold. You might want exposure to it. Now, I'm not offering you financial advice. Chris isn't offering you financial advice. advice.io, not offering you financial advice. What they are offering you is the tools to make your own decisions, be more informed about your cryptocurrencies, right? And that's what we're trying to do on the channel, right? We're trying to inform you of what's going on in the space at a different level than maybe other influencers are. And what's really interesting about this is you have a Sharpe ratio that's really, you know, positive and a Fear and Greed Index that's actually quite negative. And basically there's a saying that says, buy that fear. Buy the fear. And basically that's exactly what these two indicators are trying to do for you. They're basically saying that's the fear you buy and this is the fear you don't buy. And you're going to get that in the bear market. You'll see a Sharpe ratio that's not, not in your favor, as in the risks outweigh the rewards. Therefore, you don't want exposure to this asset, right? At the same time, when a Fear and Greed Index is also incredibly fearful, therefore you don't buy it, right? There's a way to buy your fear and there's a way not to buy the fear. Okay, so it's good to know that these two things are here and they help us understand what's going on in a little bit more detail. Now, for Elrond moving averages, they're an A2 rating, so no problem with the 10, 50, or 100-day moving averages, and the profitability is right up there as an A1 rating. So there's only one metric that's out of kilter, and that's the Fear and Greed Index for e-gold, i.e. the sentiment for Elrond right now is quite fearful. But yet every other metric here is actually really, really positive. So we know that actually we are looking to push up long term, and the issue that you have is basically just some impatient investors maybe are frustrated with eGold not moving as fast as they want it to. And this is a common thing that we see in the space. Just people want instantaneous cash. They invest in it, so they want the price to be low. But the second that they buy it, they want the price to basically be double, right? So basically, they want instantaneous profits, and those kind of investors are the kind of people who invest in Shiba, Doge, etc. The coins that go up rapidly, and they basically just chase the money and gamble, right? But from an investment point of view, if you can cut through that kind of sentiment, you can actually see the underlying data and understand the projection of where we're going, then actually longer term, it's a fantastic opportunity. So jumping back into the charts, and this time going into our hourly chart, we can see the coil, coming back down here, taking us into the oversold area. We are gearing up for another all-time high today, in my opinion. We should be gearing up to push continuously to new all-time highs just up here. And we continue to rise our stochastic RSI. Now, the only caveat to that is that we are looking for volume to come in. And obviously, with the sentiment being more fearful right now, we might get a few people chasing the candles, chasing the green. As you can see here, we had a bit of a rise on the way to setting the all-time high. We've had the pullback, consolidating, helping protect the price, lowering the stochastic. Now we need to rise this stochastic, rise our volume, and rise our candles. I do anticipate us moving out probably to probably around that kind of $330. But obviously we are mindful that the actual target that we're looking for is $365. So good progress could be made here. We could go ahead and do that. I think, though, the sentiment's not supporting a move of that kind of magnitude just yet. But I would like to be wrong. I would like to see a $365 get hit right away. But I would actually anticipate us moving up, setting new all-time highs around the $330, consolidating again from there, and then slowly working our way up towards our $365. Take that out, go for the full $455, the cup and handle target, and continuously just work our way slowly to the upside as we take out some of these areas on the charts. But overall, everything's looking pretty good and very bullish for eGold overall. Just be aware that there is that sentiment in the space right now where people are frustrated and are willing to sell eGold, and if they can make it a profit, a quick one, they'll probably be looking to do that too. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there, but if you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next